Hello, everybody. I'm coming on here to talk to you about what's going on in terms of Saturn and Pluto and also Uranus. There's a mixture of the three going on here. So firstly, there's a major intensity going on in terms of Saturn and Pluto. They're in the constellation of Capricorn, which is where Saturn reigns. And Saturn is the teacher in our lives. So all the experiences that we have that teach us a lesson, something that we learn from, is a Saturn force involved. And Pluto is the transformer. And the transformation is usually deep and thorough, a bit like a bulldozer when Pluto is involved. When you combine both Saturn and Pluto, it's very intense. When people have a Pluto-Saturn in their chart, they are generally very intense people. They can be rigid, sometimes stubborn, and difficult to move. They burrow in. They're actually reasonably grounded people, and they can be like bulldozers when they need to do what they want to do. Now, Pluto being in Capricorn, this is going to entail a transformation on a global level and also a personal level. So initially you're going to get lessons, which is by Saturn, and then Pluto's going to come along and ensure that those lessons have been thorough. If you haven't learnt the lesson, Pluto's going to make sure that you do. Okay, so this is happening on a personal level and on a global level. So what's likely to happen on a global level is that all the structures that we rest on are likely to go through some level of transformation. If not a small transformation, a large transformation. And we're talking about tax structures, trade systems, the legal structures, border and immigration control, medical structures, religion, and cultural structures are also likely to undergo some form of change. Okay, so Saturn's transit through Capricorn began in January 2020. And it will end in January 2023. Pluto, however, its transit began February 2020, and it will be in Capricorn for approximately 18 years. So just to give you some cyclical history here, Pluto takes 248 years to revolve around the zodiac. And historically, Pluto was in Capricorn during the Age of Enlightenment, the Renaissance, the Reformation, and the Crusades. So this period that's happening now is one not to take lightly. Don't ignore it. Things are not going to go back to the way that they were because we are going through a massive change. Don't take it lightly, don't ignore it. It is global as well as personal. So you yourself are going to change, and so is the globe. What comes first, we don't know. That's up to you. It's better to go with the force than to go against it. Go against it, you'll be kicking and screaming. Go with it and you've got some chance to have some level of autonomy in what goes on. So also what is happening at the same time is Uranus is in Aries. Now remember, I'm doing sidereal astrology, and the tropical mobs say that Uranus is in Taurus. It is not, it is still in Aries. And this is going to increase the volatility of what goes on in terms of our own modern day Reformation, our modern day Renaissance. So Uranus is quite volatile when it's in Aries. It takes on the flavors of Aries and Mars. And this is rebellion and revolution. Just have a look at what happened in Hong Kong. What is happening now in Australia, for example, there is a lot of protesting going on, and this is also global. Look at France, look at what's been going on in the UK, what is going on in the USA, what is going to keep going on in the USA. It's only the beginning. So major changes are generally, in the past, brought about by having uprisings. Masses of people usually awaken to injustices, and we're requesting change. We're looking at how we are oppressed, and we want changes to our circumstances. Now, it's interesting, Uranus is a freedom fighter. It's about independence, individuality, it's freedom for humanity. And this is what we stand up and we stand for. So Uranus in Aries is up for the rebellion. It's up for going against what's going on in terms of government regulations and generally losses of freedom that goes on, and systems that are not working in favour of humanity is going to undergo some form of rebellion and revolution. It's what we are after. So back in 2016, Uranus actually squared Pluto, and this was a major force for awakening on the general population. And this was actually a precursor to Uranus beginning its journey into Aries. So this awakening, this force for awakening, would have planted a seed in many people where, you start looking at your life and going, is this what I want? You started to smell a rat, things are not going the way that it should. And, you look at government oppression, how our environment is being raped, and where humanity is going is way, way, way too much consumerism, where we're losing our, ability to have proper social cohesion. Even that is, it's changing because of social media. But what's important seems to be getting lost in, the whole consumer-driven world that we're living in. But what that consumer-driven world does to our environment is just extraordinary. And these things need to change. And we are currently in the period where this is likely to happen. So things are getting shaken up. They are political and economic. It's global as well as personal. So this is the Pluto-Saturn journey through Capricorn and Uranus in Aries. And we've still got a fair ride to go yet. Uranus doesn't come out of Aries until 2025. So we've still got a few years to go. So guys, now you've got a better understanding of what's going on globally. You can't avoid it. You might as well go with it and see what needs to change in your own world. It's so interesting because what goes on globally is the result of our collective inner state of being. So we can only change the globe by us changing our inner life, our inner consciousness. So what you do actually does affect the globe. It's the microcosm of the macrocosm thing that goes on here. So bear that in mind. Don't sit idly by and let all this happen. Get involved, start transforming your own life, see what's important in your own life. How can you change? What are you learning? And what do you need to stand up and fight against in your own landscape and on a global level? Okay, guys, take care. Bye.